Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
IVM Likes is an IVM production, and if you like our discussion about pop culture and movies, you should definitely check out our show Anything But Bollywood. Every week, Neha sits down to talk to some of India's best creators and filmmakers about art, cinema, their inspiration, and pretty much anything but Bollywood. So check it out, new episodes out every Monday.
Welcome to another episode of IVM Likes. Hi guys, I'm Sharanya and today I'm in the studio with Naveen and Josh.
Yes, so much enthusiasm today.
I've been given feedback that I should be more enthusiastic, I'm trying. Today we're going to discuss some pop culture, guys.
Yes, like always on this show.
Like always. So first we're going to do our round of recommendation where we've got a movie, a TV show and a podcast today. And then we're going to discuss web series and Indian web series and where the future of Indian web series is. Alright, let's start. Who wants to start?
I'll go first.
Alright, okay. Naveen, TV show. Hit us with that TV show.
Yes, and I watched a show called Friends from College in the past few days. And I was excited about the show itself when the trailer came out because Fred Savage was in the trailer. And I'm like, oh my god, Fred Savage is acting after so long.
No, he was on The Grinder.
Yeah, but then I haven't watched The Grinder.
So you're seeing him after a long time, not that he's acting after a long time.
Like after 1 day, this is the first time I'm watching him properly. And so the cast also was very impressive. The trailer was very bad though. The trailer looked like like a 2-hour movie sort of thing. And then when I saw the show, I really enjoyed it. The problem being that a lot of people have panned the show very bad.
What is the show about?
It's a show about, lead with that. So it's about 6 friends from college who have been like friends from 20 years. And now situation has come where they're all together in New York after 20 years. They're all hanging out together. And the thing is that these guys, they're still like frat boys with each other. So they just when they come together, they go crazy. The mix in the whole show is that 2 of them have been having sex for the past 20 years without their respective spouses knowing. So they are trying to really cut the ties because the guy is trying to have a baby with his wife and it's not happening, and she does not know that this is happening, and it's a cluster in general. but what really drives the show is that it's equally poignant and equally funny. I was laughing so hard at some scenes, but also very empathetic towards the characters when something was happening. The review of the show, a lot of people have said that it's very cardboardy, and a lot of the camaraderie between the actors is not so good, and that I agree with to an extent. But given the individual power that these actors bring to the show, by the 3rd episode you see them really making a shift to because I think even the creators of the show realized that first or second episode was not that strong, and then they really by the end of the show you really get the gist of what it's going for. And I know that the whole 6 friends from college format is also really done to death, but they have something good going on, man.
I watched the first 2 episodes.
Yes.
And because the cast is so good, because it's like Keegan and Kobe Smulders, it felt like it should have been more because I expected way more.
Exactly.
And maybe the chemistry didn't work for me. I will watch it though because people keep saying this is 3rd episode that gets good. If I said I'd quit at episode 6, they'll be like the 7th one. That's the one. But I think I'll watch it though.
Yeah.
It sounds like it should work in concept because great actors, and I'm sure the story itself is nice.
But the thing is that when you watch the whole show, you get the character arcs because Keegan-Michael Key's character is this guy who's really trying to write a novel, but he's one of those people who is now passé. Everybody's going for YA novels. So there's a brilliant cameo by Kate McKinnon, and she says you should write more YA books, right? And so he comes up with this whole idea of werewolves and everything, after an entire night of drug-induced binge. So I think they have some great writers working on it, and with time only we'll get to see what the second season will be like.
Interesting.
Good cliffhanger.
And
also.
Good cast for sure.
Definitely.
Good cliffhanger or what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, don't tell me. Okay. Alright, cool. Thanks, Naveen.
Yes.
Josh?
Okay, so I'm going to be recommending a movie today. For regional quota, it's going to be a Malayalam movie. So the film I'm going to be recommending is from last year. It's called Kali. It stars Dulquer Salmaan, if you guys don't know who that is.
Yes,
DQ, son of Mammootty.
Yes.
It stars also, so it's with him and this Tamilian actress Sai Pallavi. And the film it's a thriller, and it's about the first half of the film deals with Dulquer's anger issues. So the whole first half you see how he sort of reacts to sort of small microaggressions, let's say, like someone doesn't give him his bag, probably he gets pissed off about that, and how this affects their relationship, or how his wife, played by Sai Pallavi, feels that, you know, he needs to calm down or something like that. And then halfway through the film, I can't remember why, but they are driving to some place, and then they have an encounter with a truck driver, a kind of a bit of a standoff kind of thing, where he sort of drives a bit rashly, they get run off the road, and then he chases Dulquer, you know, puts the pedal to the metal. Nobody says that anymore. But and then, you know, chases, overtakes, and kind of like there's a sort of a bit of a give and take there. And then it sort of fizzles out, and then they drive off, and then at some point they stop to eat, and they're eating at this dhaba on the side of the highway, and then the dhaba is run by a gunda. So now the thing is, he gets into some argument with this guy, and then the truck driver comes. So the thing is, they are sort of trapped in this dhaba now. There's this guy that runs the dhaba that he's had an argument with, and there's this truck driver guy that has just pulled him in, who's friends with the owner.
Oh, okay.
So now it's like him and his wife, and what are they going to do? How are they going to get out? You know. So the whole film is kind of like that.
So it's like that half is just in one dhaba.
Yeah, it just takes place in the dhaba for the most part. Or how the whole second half of the film is dealing with how do they get out of that situation, essentially.
But are they like trapped because they are holding them hostage, or like?
So now that is interesting. It's because he gets into an argument about some juice or something, and then they have to pay for whatever.
Okay, the drinking kind.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And he has to pay for it, and then he realizes he doesn't have any money in his wallet. So someone has to go to the ATM to get the money. So either he leaves his wife behind and goes and gets the wallet, or he has to send her out. So
either way, it's very
so that tension sort of is there.
So we need more ATMs on.
The moral of the story: we need more ATMs.
Always carry cash.
Yeah.
Nice. And when was this movie?
You can watch it on Hotstar. It's free to watch. Subtitles, everything. And it's got Vinayakan, who was in Kamattipadam, if you've seen that, who plays Ganga in Kamattipadam.
No.
He's awesome in that movie, okay? If you haven't seen that yet, I recommended it earlier. You should see that film also.
Cool. I like how you assume that we take a recommendation seriously, Josh.
No, because Vinayakan, it's funny because if you look at him, he plays like a Dalit character in the film. And there's a lot of argument. I remember somewhere, because like a character like him, he's dark skinned, you know, he's not like the traditional leading man, but yet he can get a role like this. But for women, it's so difficult, you know, that whole narrative is there also.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Wow, sounds exciting. I've never watched Malayalam movies on Hotstar. Actually, I rarely watch movies on Hotstar, but I'll check it out.
But I took up the subscription recently, so now I'm going to watch all the Bengali films.
Yeah.
Because they're all premium only.
It's a callback to an earlier episode.
Alright, thanks Josh.
So next time we'll recommend a Bengali movie.
Actually, that's a great idea. You should just do Hotstar recommendation section.
Regional. Oh, that's my assign now. Assign the regional section. Regional correspondent. Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to recommend a podcast today called Invisibilia. It's the NPR podcast, and I've been wanting to listen to it for a long time, but it always seemed like it would be a serious podcast, so I've just been avoiding it. But I recently started listening to it, and it is so fascinating. It basically explores the idea of invisible things that affect human behavior and thoughts and emotions and behavior in any way, like how you react to any situation. Well, you can always say this is, your past. He talks like that because of his personality or because of his genes or whatever. This is all the invisible stuff, right? A couple of episodes that I listened to that have really blown my mind, I want to mention. So there's an episode called Fearless, which is the second episode of the season, which talks about what you would do if you were not afraid at all. If you did not have a fear of anything, of social situations, and not just big phobias, just basic fear. How different would your life be? It's a rare condition that actually exists in some people, very rare case. Right now, I think there's one woman whose name we do not know because they never mention it.
It's a neurological problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a certain thing in your brain that is missing basically,
okay.
Or that gets blocked due to some kind of neurological problem, where you cannot experience any fear. So there's a girl that they interview called SM. We do not know her name because she's protected so much by the community, by the neurological community. Nobody knows her name. I've read a couple of interviews with her later. Again, nobody knows her name. She has no fear. But the issue with that is that while she can do anything, she also trusts anything. She can stand in front of a snake armed people. Nothing. She does not experience the flight syndrome.
She's
So you-
never felt
Fight
that
or
only.
flight.
yeah,
Like
so you cannot run from she doesn't have the ability to say this is a dangerous situation, I should be scared and I should run away. And that is a very difficult thing to be because she trusts everything then, which is such a weird thing. And so they talk about how you can overcome any kind of fear. So in this episode at the end, they put people who are deadly afraid of snakes, right? Like with snakes in the room. Or snake in a jar, keep it at your desk all day and see how you feel about it. Really interesting of how those people behave. There's an episode called How to Become Batman, which where they experiment again with an animal, where they bring a rat to you and they say, can what you think about this rat affect the rat's life? And everybody's like, obviously not. Right? How is that possible? And then they do an experiment where they've got multiple rats and they've just named, like they've put labels in front of the rats saying these are the smart rats, these are the dumb rats. Now you do the test like where they run through a maze and you score them. If you assume that your rat is a smart rat because you've been told it's a smart rat, you will score them way higher because you expect them to do well. Whereas if you think your rat is a dumbass anyway, and when he might do the same thing, but you will score him lower because you think he's a dumb person.
Expecting, yeah.
So other people's expectations are constantly
What drive you?
Yeah, and this
Feeding into
episode,
the,
why it's called How to Become Batman, is because the story is about this guy called Daniel Kish, who's blind, but has never realized that that blind people should not be able to see. He can ride a bike. He goes on hikes all the time. He climbs mountains and stuff.
Wow.
Completely because he has never believed that he cannot see. He uses echo, like where they click to understand space and distance.
Okay.
And he feels that blind kids were always told that you cannot see, therefore this is dangerous. So they never learn how to do anything. So he started this new thing where he trains blind kids to go do things. The only obstacle in this is unfortunately love. Because every time he tells a kid to walk to the end of the street, he's like, listen for the cars. They'll get very close. It's 1 second of learning, but before that 1 second, some parent will come and pick them out because people are afraid.
Okay.
Right? So kids, and he, like, if you see his photos, he does a lot of TED Talks and stuff. His face is banged up because he has driven into metal rods and poles, but it's just great. He's learned how to do that. He drives a cycle down he would drive a bike down the slope of his driveway. He would shout loudly and he would just go down full speed.
That kind of explains why even bats have smushed in faces.
Bats exactly.
Over years,
Echolation is the same thing as bats. That's why it's called How to Be
No,
Batman.
I meant like bats' faces. Have you seen them? Like they have like squished
I
up
get it.
noses.
Cracking a joke.
So like all their
I get it.
centuries of banging faces into bat caves.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's why it's called How to Be a Batman because he uses what bats use to understand space. It's such a fascinating episode to me. And there's the first one that I listened to called Reality Part 1, where they talk about if two people look at the same window and still see different things, how is that possible? Right? Which is basically, you don't know your perception of reality is influenced by so many things. So they do this experiment where they show a small video of a cop beating this guy. And then they show the same video to the same, different people, and everybody in that short video makes assumptions. Like, half the people, if you have a good experience with cops, if you think cops are here to protect you, you think the cop is doing his job.
Yeah.
If you're the other way around where you think cops are awful people, you think it's the cops beating up somebody. Just like literal same thing shown to you, perception affects it. So interesting. And then there are some really fun ones where they don't get so deep, where they talk about the secret life of clothes. Like how the clothes you wear affects you, right? So they give people doctor's coats and say wear the doctor's coats and then do a cognitive test. They score very high. Then they give the same white coat to other people and say it's a painter's coat. They don't score that high. If you think that you are smarter, kids who are afraid of flying, if on Halloween, if they dress as say Amelia Earhart and then they are put on a flight, they are perfectly fine.
Wow.
Can you imagine? It was so exciting to me. It was genuinely really, really interesting stuff. I did not think it would be this good.
Tell me something, the Fearless episode, so you're saying that even if someone has a lifelong phobia, they can get over it?
Where does the phobia come from is a question, right?
Okay.
It's cognitive, so you can deal with it if you are told not to deal with it, if you are told how to deal with it.
Wow.
It's hosted, by the way, by two journalists called Alex Spiegel and Lulu Miller. And they get a little bit of, it's kind of unfortunate, they get a lot of, in the early seasons, they got a lot of flack for vocal fry because they're little kind of girls, if you know what I mean. And that's why it took me a little while to get to it, because I was like, what if it annoys me? It doesn't. The subject matter is great. It's amazing. Please check it out. And I really carried away because I've been so obsessed with this podcast. It's so great. It's called Invisibilia. It's by NPR.
Cool.
All right.
So how many episodes are out though?
This is the third season now. I think the first season was 6 episodes.
Nice.
Third season is 5 episodes in now.
These guys do a lot of research and all.
Oh my god, it's like they've worked on it for so long. They talk to so many people about each episode. It's great. It's journalistic. I mean, that's what it is. Alright. Thanks for listening to me, guys. Naveen, you've recommended.
Friends from college.
And Josh recommended.
Kali.
And I'm recommending Invisibilia. Let's take a break and come back.
What's the best new restaurant in town?
Which bar sucked?
What's the worst new Hindi film?
What's the most obscure thing to do on the weekend?
And what's the most interesting new walking tour?
If you want to know how to make the most of Bombay, listen to the Podcast by thedailypow.com. We are Pronuti,
Amit,
And Purva.
We're your guide to what to do, see, and eat in the city. You can find new episodes of the Podcast every Monday on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you prefer, and on thedailypow.com.
Alright, welcome back. In this second segment of discussions, we're talking about web series and what we think is the possibility of Indian web series becoming a mainstream form of entertainment. Internationally, big celebrities do a lot of shows for, Netflix and HBO, and a lot of television. Kevin Spacey in House of Cards on Netflix, Nicole Kidman, who has an HBO show called Big Little Lies. I think Amazon Prime has just signed a new show with Julia Roberts. Netflix has a new show with Sandra Bullock in it. Big celebrities, like technically really big stars. Do you guys think we'll ever get there? Because right now we have Vivek Oberoi and Inside Edge. And it's not that we don't have good web series. Of course, we don't have as many. It's not like it's an whole industry. It's a few, far between, your Better Life Foundations and very few. The Trip and some others, I guess. I mean, even TVF has done a whole bunch that have done well. Like Pictures has done well, Permanent Roommates has done well. But do you guys ever think that we'll come to a space where it is
A-list people.
It's A-list people. I mean, even right now, our celebrities don't do television because that feels like a downgrade, right?
They do come on Tarak Mehta once in a while.
Of course. And the Najmaliyas of the world.
Yes.
When they want to promote a movie.
There was once Salman Khan came and danced to Garba with Daya, and I was like, oh my god, this is happening.
What about fiction? Do you think India will ever see such good fiction that has Bollywood stars come into,
The Indian writers have a lot of story to tell. Like, for example, if you look at Varun Grover's work, the fact that he can bring all these small-time stories to life, the fact that there's a lot of good content out there which we can explore, right? Like, YRF put a lot of money into web series recently and none of it really worked.
Bang Baja Bharat worked, right?
Apart from Bang Baja Bharat, everything else was Bang Baja Bharat. The one which was like about Mr. Ya Miss kind of thing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The guy trapped in a girl's body and vice versa. That concept is already done. So again, like, they are going for writers who are established enough to give them good content, but not really driving it based on sheer ideas.
You think Bang Baja Bharat, which has Ali Fazal in it, it's a good show.
Yeah.
You think you think Ranveer Kapoor would be in it at some point?
If he would, so that's what, like, I don't think any of our actors are readily willing to do this because they look at television as a form of entertainment which is below them, right?
Yeah.
And that's also because Indian television is so saturated with low power content and people are happy with that. The whole internet stream right now is taking root because comics are where they're going to, like, they're like, comedians, please write for us. I don't think at any point in the future, in the coming 10 years, any big celeb from India will ever go down.
Why do you think that?
Because they're too snooty for their own good, if you look at it.
But it's funny because I remember in America in the 1780s, because I have this one Mad magazine issue where there's some bit about how you know, like, a star has gone down and out, and one of the things is that they're doing TV shows.
Correct.
So it was seen as that thing, but I think for them they had like Twin Peaks and X-Files and all these like big shows.
Yeah.
So maybe there just needs to be that one big show that does well, then everybody will catch on.
Yeah, I mean, so far if you look at the history of Bollywood celebrities being on television, other than the game show format where they get to be the hero of everything, like KBC or all of those, they have experimented. Like Anil Kapoor did the Indian version of 24, did not work. Yash Raj had a whole slot where they did like Sony programming with Amitabh Bachchan. I mean, that didn't work. Amitabh Bachchan TV shows are not working, guys.
And Kashyap
What TV
involved
show
in
did
that.
he do?
Yudh. Nobody watched it, but I think it was good. I remember there was another one called Powder. Do you guys
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
Original content made by Yasha, supposed to be very good, but did not work. I mean, the problem is, of course, that we don't watch television. City people, the people that this content is aimed at, do not watch it. We do watch web
If you put it on
series.
Sony TV, nobody will watch it, obviously.
Correct. We do watch web series, but I don't think there's enough money and numbers as big. Like yet, it's not television, it's not movies. So we're too small, maybe as a
Money is definitely a thing because recently on The Seen and the Unseen, which is another podcast that I produce, which you guys need to check out right now if you want to
Very
see
smooth.
how.
subtle.
Sorry, but you have to because it's a great podcast. They just did an episode on TV licenses, which basically was about how in India subscription fees to cable channels is capped. So people who are providing cable connections cannot charge more than a certain amount from the end user. So because of that, like cable channels do not get that much money. So most of the time they will just repurpose shows, like whether they were specifically referring to cartoons in particular because they'll repurpose whatever Japanese anime and all that
Fair
for
enough.
kids. So there is that issue in that in terms of funding or in terms of money in cable networks, there isn't much, which is interesting because if you think of the BBC is fully funded by
Correct.
funded by the taxpayer, and they have some of the best content
Yeah,
in my
yeah.
and they have so much content.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
Even if we don't look at, say, if television does not make money to subscription, the Netflix and the Amazons that do, Hotstar has tried original content. I don't know. I mean, obviously, we don't know numbers for these. On Air with AIB, they had the new season of Sarabhai versus Sarabhai. Amazon just did the Inside Edge and are working on a bunch of other shows, Ministry and a whole others. Netflix so far not really done any original Indian content, except for maybe Brahman Naman, which is
Yeah,
a
few
movie they
movies.
commissioned. And I think they are working on Secret Games with Saif Ali Khan. I mean, maybe like if the television is not an option because of subscription, then why isn't Netflix doing stuff? Like, they've been in India for a long time and they are built on original
and they've
content.
capped the market also.
But I feel like I just read some article about how they are cancelling so many shows.
They are cancelling a whole bunch of shows, but because they are budgeting like crazy. The Get Down is budgeted at some 11-12 crores, and just give us a few lakhs, we'll write better stuff here. You know, I mean, maybe there isn't a market.
Maybe.
Because I think we're the only I think it's a small.
I'm just dreaming of the day Doordarshan becomes like BBC.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
If Doordarshan had an app and they
they-
did some good content,
But
why
they
not?
had an
like
iPlayer.
Doordarshan was the thing, dude. Like everybody, even the biggest stars, like theatre actors, who now we know as like playing big roles in movies.
Yeah.
They did like Doordarshan initially. Everybody was like Nukkad was there.
Yeah.
And everybody, all the big celebs were there back then. At least the good actors from that point of time. The thing is, even now Indian television actors look at Bollywood as a lucrative form of
Yeah.
leaving that life behind.
Yeah.
Like Sushant Singh Rajput washed his hands off Pavitra Rishta the moment he got off it. Even though that was his original fan base,
Yeah,
and aunties still swear by him.
absolutely, absolutely.
Right? So like when you I remember I interviewed Shiv Pandit for my podcast, and I spoke to him about FIR because I used to love FIR when it was
Yeah.
first launched, and then went to shit obviously because budgeting and production in television is very
Money-
bad,
yeah.
very bad.
There's
People who
no
come
money.
from all parts of the world to work in Bombay, they tell you that how bad they have
Plus,
to
if you're
really.
doing daily shows, you're burnt out. My God.
So for them, like that kind of vanity van escape is where Bollywood is, right? So they look at it as a kind of moving on from that.
Correct.
And that's why this always remains a lower format. So unless we have people revitalizing the whole format altogether, turning it on its head.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want a YRF to be doing that because they come with that, we are Yashraj and we are this small part of this big company, but we're going to revamp the whole thing and we're going to be cool. That's not it, right? Give us good content. And
Yeah.
even I know people who wrote with YRF, they were there at that time, two of my closest comic friends, and they left that because they were like, oh my god, this is again monopolized in such a way where they're like, oh, let's
Correct.
put money into this and make this more lucrative for people to watch instead of us actually putting in good content.
That's another thing. If you have big studios going to do web series, then again they have a lot of money to do it. So then where does that leave your indie writers and who have web as free right now, at least if you want to put a YouTube series, for example.
Yeah.
But it has to be at that same, like how for this Marvel Cinematic Universe, how they've got TV people to do the films.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It needs to be like some big
Level of
studio.
trust, yeah.
That they have to trust their writers. Like
Yeah.
they might still poach people, but then at the end of the day, they want their shit.
Yeah.
They don't let the writers maybe do what they want, I guess.
But still with MCU also, the biggest problem obviously is that they have a lot of creative control, and they're like, okay, you guys get to do all this. Your execution is what matters, but overall grand scheme of things we control. So whatever happens, what the big studios, they eventually get to meddle a lot. I think we have to eliminate that. The fact that we have the open internet now, like people can put out YouTube stuff. We just need that one spark of inspiration.
Yeah. People, I mean, with like Better Life and whatever comedy videos, I mean, people are doing really good content.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and independently produced.
And it took them time to write that, like, because I know Naveen
Yeah,
Richard
they've been
and
writing
Utsav-
for a long
very
time.
long time.
Yeah.
So again, like studios do that. Right? They're like, no, we have a deadline in 3 months. We have to produce some.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
In fact, internationally,
Pre-production.
there are so many, like, there are some web series that started as YouTube series, like Awkward Black Girl, High Maintenance. High Maintenance started as a show on Vimeo.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, HBO has picked it up for a series. Insecure, the series on HBO, has come from Awkward Black Girls on YouTube. It's 2-minute clips. But I don't think any channel in India is ever going to do that, where, like, let's put Better Life on television. You think that's going to happen? I mean, to be fair, why doesn't Better Life get approached by Netflix? Or, you know what I mean? Or on Amazon Prime or a Hotstar.
Correct.
Where it's already well produced, it's well done. How difficult is it to put this kind of content, good content already out there? Give them more space, give them a season 2.
But that might be an
Give them
issue
a
of
budget.
it being on YouTube already.
Give them a budget to do another season.
But so for example, Dem Boxer Shorts, the parent company, they did the web series first, and every comedian in the country watched it and they were like, oh my god, this is good. Then AIB stepped in and said, we will re-release this on
On
our
the
YouTube
channel.
so more people can watch it. Right? Even they needed that kind of like
They
leverage
needed that
from
push for sure.
somebody else.
Even the show that I recommended way back called Not Fit. Not Fit, TVF
Yeah.
picked it up and put it on their channel. Only that's when I saw it for the first time. Because it
Exactly.
was on a Dice Media channel, nobody was watching it.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that is there, of course. You can have a lot of good content out there, but it's also a way of discovery, which is you have to find the most number of eyeballs to have people watch it. Like in the recent Ranbir Kapoor podcast that AIB did, where they asked him about, will you do a web series? And he just doesn't see the power, he doesn't see the numbers in it. Where Tanmay is trying to explain to him that if these many million people watch my videos, and then you put money into it, imagine how many people, more
Correct,
millions will watch it,
correct.
and how
But
many millions watch your movies.
But that's
a
Ranbir-
trade-off, rather.
Yeah, but yeah, his mindset about it is, I feel like, reflective when you were telling me about Karan Johar having to explain gender fluidity to Saif, man. I feel like it's that.
And mansplaining. He did not know what
Mansplaining.
mansplaining was.
Yeah, it's like they're so.
That's Ranveer, na?
Yeah.
That's Ranveer.
But all actors in general are like, they have something.
But young
going
actors,
on.
that's what I find weird. Like young actors who have Netflixes and watch Netflix and watch HBO shows. You know the power, you see it. Is it that you don't trust Indian audiences?
That's what I think. That's the problem eventually. They're
Or
like,
they just don't
we
see the
done-
money in it. If you're not paying outfront ticket money, they don't see how this will make them money in the long run.
It all boils down to content. I think if you give enough,
You don't think it all boils down to money?
money is obviously involved. It's a substance.
There's no producer, man. Between the content and the money is the
push.
producer.
Yeah.
We need those people who are going to.
Exactly, and the people who are actually producers are like the Nadia Walas of the industry. Which is
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Oof.
Status quo and all that shit.
so what do we
So
do?
basically, a bleak future for content.
No, there just
Actually,
has to
we
be
don't know. It's
that one
one
breakout.
thing.
If there's that
You're
one
right.
breakout show, then it'll
You're
be
right.
like a
Exactly.
flood
Yeah,
after that.
because the more flops you have, then the more examples you have. Like, oh, Inside Edge didn't work and this didn't work.
Yeah.
One big hit, you never know. That could be the
Like,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah, if
I would
24
pay good
smashed
money.
it, maybe they'd just be getting more
Yeah.
American shows and just.
Yeah.
Yeah,
doing
but
that.
I would pay good money to see what happened to Govinda after 90s, right? Like just make a TV show, put Govinda as a lead.
Like episodes types.
Yeah, like episodes type,
Oh
exactly.
my god, that would be so great.
Yeah, see,
I
I'm
love
giving,
episodes.
giving them samne
Go make it now.
Go producers.
Take it.
Yeah.
We have given you a gift.
Exactly. Use Govinda and you'll be like, it's a hit.
And Govinda will love it, man. I'm sure.
Interesting. I hope things happen.
Feed into the narcissism. Feed into it.
All right, that was a fun conversation, guys.
Yes.
If you have opinion on this of any kind, I don't know what kind of opinion you probably have. Find us on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. We are IVM Podcast, and we'll be back next week.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Sorry to say, but there's been a slight delay due to the apocalypse having suddenly begun. As you can see, there's death, destruction, and chaos taking place all around us. But don't you worry, food and drinks will be served shortly, and I would recommend checking out IVM Podcasts to get some of your favorite Indian podcasts. We'll keep you going till this whole thing blows over. Thank you.